Hi everybody, I am Kim with Horn Paranormal and I am here to show you a demonstration on the threshold dowsing rods by Brews BBQ and Horn Paranormal. As you can see right here, we have made a nice case for them so that when you're traveling or whatever, you have a place for them to carry them. They'll slide right really easily into any backpack or suitcase. So as you open them, you have our Horn Paranormal emblem in there, as you can see, and the rods set nicely in these light compartments covered with some felt that I sewed, and we also add a couple of batteries. Let me set this down and take these rods out of their packaging to show you how they go. Set these down. Okay, now we got the rods. As you can see, they light up. Can't see as well in this video probably as they show up at night, but the button to turn them on is up front. They take 1032 batteries, which is your typical like kitchen scale, food scale, and they go up on top. You just flip up the top right there, replace the batteries. One thing about rods, especially my rods, I always go for the freestanding, the spindle handles. Why is that? Because that controls how much we do this. In other words, people can manipulate rods. That's one of the arguments with the rods is, oh, you're making a move. Well, you put them on a free spindle to alleviate that problem. And the second thing I always do is I always tuck my arms in, bring them forward and tuck my arms in like that. And that way, that gives you more stable, steady hands because you don't want to move. You want the rods to move freely. So now the rods are straight. I'm calling on my guides to come forward. Please come forward with me. Okay, straighten out. Okay, now I ask questions so I know which way. And this could be different for everybody, but for me, can you show me which way for yes? Thank you. For me, yes has always been cross. And can you show me no, please? Which way for no? And as you can see, no has always been pointed out. Now, sometimes the rods will do some weird type energy things. They'll start spinning all weird. That's because the energy is like, whoo, out of control, right? Also, they'll point in different directions if they want to lead you somewhere, or if you're not quite getting your questions to be specific enough, they'll act in different ways. So you try to keep your answers really short and, very to the point. Okay, I'm going to ask. One of the things I like to do besides yes and no questions is I like to have the rods count for me. And what would be a good example is the age of my cat, Chelsea. Chelsea. How old is my cat, Chelsea? If I count the numbers, will you cross on her age? So yes, they will. Thank you. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, oh, they touched. I had to move them down a little bit. 11, 12. So as I got closer to her age, they didn't quite cross, but then they crossed at her age. She's 12. Thank you. So if you're watching and you're getting closer to something, you might see that happen. You might see that your rods get closer and closer, but that's not necessarily yes. It just means that you're getting warmer. Okay, another thing I like to do is have it locate. My family comes from a long line of witches, like well-witchers, which means that my grandparents, my grandpa, my dad, we lived in Wyoming, so looking for water. It goes back to before the 16th century, you used to use wood, copper, things that were very conductive to find minerals and to find like water. So we used to always dig our own water wells, and that's how we'd find good drinking water is by doing the copper rods. So, okay, can you point to the flowers, to my flowers, please? We point to my flowers, and almost said yes, and it stopped me. Okay, and I want to show you. Can you straighten out for me? Thank you. Thank you. Straighten back out for me. Okay, so with that, I don't know if you guys saw the flowers. They were to my right. Once a rod may only go one way and the other one might stay straight, or they both might go the same way. It doesn't necessarily mean they'll both go, but it still means that they're pointing to a location. I've asked questions like, where's the golf course? And it went clear. You watch this. See how they spread out? The golf course wraps around our house. The 18th hole is that way, and then it turns in L's and goes that way. So it's showing me the whole area of the golf course. Thank you. So it's not yes or no or wrong. It's showing me that it was bigger than what it can cover, that it's a bigger space. So again, use yes, no, be very explicit in your questions. Let's do one more here. Where are my eyeglasses that I've been wearing today? See how fast they move? Thank you. Now let me show you guys. I'm going to put these down. My glasses were to the left. Okay, so once again, you can, if you guys want to get your own Booze Brews on the end, you can go to hornparanormal.com. These are only sold for Booze, Brews, and Barbecue. We don't have any other set on there of dowsing rods. These are specifically Booze, Brews, and Barbecue dowsing rods. So you really want to get these. These are awesome. They, like I said, see how free moving they are. They're one of a kind. Go check us out, hornparanormal.com, hornparanormal.shop. Follow Booze, Brews, and Barbecue on Instagram and all their Facebook and all the other social media platforms. They're up and coming. They are awesome people. They're doing great things out there for the paranormal community. And we are 100% behind those boys. So that being said, go buy you some dowsing rods. They're fun.